Okay, welcome everyone. Let's get started. So today for the AMA, I'm going to be going over about 8 different subjects or 8 different topics. We're going to start with the hardware updates that have been in progress over the last 3 or 4 months since my last AMA. Also talk about software updates and then get into the development and the current status of the DPN app that's already been it's been in beta for quite a while now, and we'll discuss a little bit about the India tunnel situation. We have a lot of people in the community who have requests about Indian tunnel improvements, so we have some improvements for that coming up, and then we'll get into the deeper chain and the current progress and happenings on the deeper chain, and talk a little bit about our retail market and how that's doing, and roll right into the DPR use cases. And I typically don't talk too much about this, so probably won't have too much to say, but a little bit about DPR price. Okay, and then we'll finish with the Q&A if people here have any questions. I didn't get a chance to collect questions personally. I wasn't able to, but yeah, if anybody has questions, we can talk about that at the end. I've been kind of under the weather, so. All right, so in terms of hardware improvements, we have quite a few number of new products out. We have the new dual antenna Wi-Fi dongle. Our previous Wi-Fi dongle, the one that was being used on the Pico mostly, was also capable of being used on the Mini. If you have the dongle, the DPR Mini SE, the range on that wasn't the best. It was fine for a Pico for personal use, but a lot of people were requesting us to make a better Wi-Fi dongle so that they can use it in their house with a better range. So we've done that. And this new Wi-Fi dongle is much faster. It's I think it's rated at 1.2 gigs. I don't have the exact numbers on the speeds, but it's like at least 5 or 6 times faster than the old one. The coverage is 1,500 square foot, so much wider, and the connection is a USB Type-C. It's actually currently available on the website now. It's for $29. And the next product that we have just recently launched this week is the new Deeper Connect Pico. The old Pico is being discontinued. The new Pico has some huge improvements in terms of speed. You're looking at about 30% increase in CPU performance. The network latency also is about 30% in decrease in latency, which is good. And then double the memory. So instead of 500 megs of memory, we're looking at 1 gig of memory now. 400% improvement in coverage with the new dual antenna Wi-Fi dongle. Right now, there's a promotion where if you buy a new Pico, which is currently on the website for $149, you can get a new dual antenna upgrade for free. And then other upgrades for the new Pico is a 200% increase in the Wi-Fi signal, so it's a lot stronger. And the speeds, it used to be 100 megabits per second, and now it's 200 megabits per second. So that has improved a lot, I think. Double the number of devices also that are able to connect to it. So the new Pico is out now, so you could go check that out. And then we've also made improvements on the Deeper Connect cooling base for those of you that having some like overheating issues for your device, maybe where it's located or how you use the device. Some people have some heating issues. You can get the cooling base, and the cooling base has been improved a lot. Okay, and that's available now. It's been available. And then the Deeper Connect Air, currently still in the in-demand phase on Indiegogo, but it is currently in production already. Because of some raw materials and also some adjustments we made with the material of the Air. Previous one was aluminum casing. Now we're using a composite, so it's going to be much better for cooling. When we had testers and KOLs use it, they had made comments about the heat and the temperature of it. So that should be improved, and it's currently in production. We're hoping for shipments, hopefully expecting real soon. All right, so that's for the hardware improvements. Roll into the software improvements. So right now we're, in terms of firmware for Atom OS, the newest version is 1.2.2. So if you haven't updated yet, please do so on your device. It has some great features already that's been launched, but we've also been working on a lot of features and improvements for 1.2.3, which is the next release, hopefully within the month. So we've done, for the software, we created a backup tunnel feature development, and that will, I think, greatly improve the user experience for the app relocator, as well as dropped connections and whatnot. So we've focused a lot over the last 3 or 4 months on improving the features. We had a lot of features out, but sometimes further testing and work needs to be done on it. So we've really worked hard the past 3 or 4 months to improve these features, so that for the mainstream users, they have a much better experience, and that's really important for us for the device sales, so that we can expand the network. Next one, we have the ad filter transparency proxy rewrite. This is a feature that will give us a faster, less CPU intense performance, and also allow us to keep up with the YouTube ads policy updates. So the ad blocking has always been a cat and mouse chase kind of a thing with YouTube. YouTube ads and the way they do it is very complicated. So for us, it's very difficult with our current system to keep up. But with the implementation of the ad filter transparency proxy rewrite feature that we're implementing, it's going to make it a lot easier. The ad blocking feature will improve tremendously because of it. So that is obviously a feature we advertise on the retail front quite often. So we want to make sure that works really well, because a lot of people hate ads. So it's an important feature. Domain configuration and smart route list development. We're trying to create it so that right now, smart route, for those of you that don't really use it, you have to basically customize it yourself first in order for it to be smart. Otherwise, just normally in smart route, it might not work the way that you want it to work. But with this domain configuration list development, it's gonna kind of be a little bit more smart right out of the box. Of course, you can configure it more to customize it to the way you like it, but it'll be a little bit more intuitive, okay, on the way out of the box. All right, and then moving forward, we have also a better traffic stats feature to be rolled out in 1.2.3, telling you more about the traffic on your network and incoming in and out as well. And then there will be sharing log improvements with the addition of routing tables for Atom OS as well as a part of your sharing log. Okay. We've also, we have a couple of members on the team focusing on AI and research and development for the AI part. And we are trying to use AI more on the network in order to improve the tools and features, and hopefully learning and helping the users and the way they use their devices to make that process better, and as well as learning how certain parts of the network works and improve there. So that's been quite a challenge, but that's quite exciting. For those of you that don't know, we have a customer service on AI, the deeper chat GPT, which if you prefer to do it that way, you can find some information. So you can try that out at the website at support.deeper.network. There's a deeper chat GPT that you can ask questions. So that was something that we worked on in the past. So that will be improved as well as we go. The app relocator has also been being worked on, adding more domains and subdomains to improve the functions. Right now, each website doesn't have, like, for instance, Netflix, it's not just netflix.com. Once you put that and use a certain tunnel for that, it doesn't always work because they actually have maybe a list of like 20 subdomains that they can route to. And this is all part of how much traffic they get. The bigger the platform, the more subdomains they need in order to disperse their traffic to different servers, and so it doesn't overload. So we've worked really hard to try to find all of those domains so that when you just type one, it covers it all. Okay. One of the big apps that we've been really trying to work on in terms of the app relocator is the NBA app. I'm sure some of you maybe have seen, we've been asking for testers for that because the NBA.com app is a very popular app that a lot of people use. NBA basketball, if you're a basketball fan, people like to watch all the games at any time the season started, and it's a very popular one. And so people want to save money when they sign up for that. And so we've been doing a lot of testing trying to get that to work. But it's been tricky because there's been a lot of hurdles in terms of trying to get it to work so that you can get the NBA app at like 20% of the cost. Okay, so these kind of features, instead of having the users figure it out, we're trying to figure it all out so that out of the box, people can just have one click and be able to subscribe at the lowest prices. And I think that would be very beneficial to mainstream adoption of the device. Okay. This one is a little bit more technical, but the NAT we're doing a NAT penetration, which will allow private IPs to function as public IPs, which is beneficial for the growth of the network as well and the discoverability. It'll improve the node functionality and be able to have it be discovered a lot more easily in the future, not only as a part of POCR, proof of credit, but also as a part of NPOW, which is the new consensus mechanism that we've developed. So that has been in the works. And we are also getting close to completing our game acceleration feature. We've been researching that for quite a few months now. There's a lot of gamers in the world, and a lot of these gamers, they like to connect to different tunnels around the world in order to game on different servers. And however, our nodes right now might not be fast enough for a lot of these gamers. So we've worked to improve that. We've worked to improve the speeds and trying to accelerate, and that could be a feature in the future. Right now, there are services that actually help improve game acceleration on the networks, and they charge big money for that. So we are trying to bring that in and trying to wrap that in with NPOW as well, giving DPR more use case, real world use cases. Okay. Let's see. And then lastly, in the software, these are just the highlights. The list was way too long. I don't want to bore you guys, so I'm just hitting the highlights of a lot of the software updates. We're also working on some interface updates for Atom OS so that it looks better. I know it's not the sharpest thing in the world when you look at it, but we're working on that. Part of the reason why the interface can't be amazing like a lot of centralized apps is because the app itself is not on a server. It's basically on your device, and the way that it functions, it can't use too much memory. So because of that fact, we're limited to our ability to make it like this amazing app that's on a website or on your phone, right? And with a lot of these apps, you're downloading them, and they're hundreds of megabytes. Some are even over, a gig to use, and they look amazing. Well, that's because they have the ability to, to store all that on your device. We can't. Our interface cannot be stored. We can't. I mean, the device itself can't handle that much storage. We can't download a 200 megabyte file on your device. So it's limited to what we're able to do. So we're trying to do the best we can with the amount of room that we have. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So that's all we have for the software updates, the highlights. I'd like to move into the DPN app. The DPN app, for those of you that haven't tried it, it's free. Right now, I think it's like 7 or 14 days free to test. It's currently still in beta testing. You can just go to dpn.deeper.network. Okay, dpn.deeper.network, and you can sign up and try it. And the DPN app is basically an app that allows people who don't have devices to use DPN. So it's great for people who are traveling overseas and they don't have a device, and instead of using centralized VPNs, which basically none work in like China or whatever countries, a lot of them just simply don't work. You could try the DPN Deeper.network app, and it's connecting to the nodes on the network. So it's connecting to devices on the network that you guys own. So that is a very powerful device because that will garner us a lot more attention once it's released, and as well as it'll become a subscriber service, so people can subscribe using the device. Using the app. They can buy it and subscribe. It's going to be a lot cheaper than centralized VPNs, and also it'll be, I think, more powerful. Okay, so that is testing has been completed. It's been very successful. The app works great. It's clean, easy to use. We're adding, the reason it's not released yet is because we're adding an ad filter, transparent proxy rewrite, the thing that I talked about in improving our ad block. We're adding that feature into the app as well, because we feel with that, the ad blocking, as well as the DPN, it's going to make the app a lot more powerful for users, and it'll make it a lot more attractive, because with that, they're able to block all the ads, even on YouTube, with just the app. And so that'll make it a lot more attractive. And then we're also adding HTTPS filters and DNS filters in before it hits Google Play and App Store. So hopefully that's launched soon. I've been waiting a long time for that, so hopefully that should be ready soon. It'll bring in many new users to the network, the app itself, once it's launched, especially for those who don't own devices. But even for users that own devices, the app is a great companion. So a lot of times you might not have your device with you. You can have access to uncensored information anywhere you are, just with the app. It'll put the existing network to work, showcasing the decentralized physical infrastructure that we are. Okay, we're a DPIN project, and it'll showcase that. It'll show that our network is healthy and functioning and can support things such as apps, right? And we're currently discussing OpenWRT as well, which will further open up the use of the network nodes to developers that want to use DPN. Okay, so that will also tap into existing infrastructure as well. So that will help tremendously with future consensus mechanism, the NPOW, once we start launching all this stuff. And the DPN app itself will also, like I said, it's going to be a paid service after a free trial period. And we hopefully will be, at first time when we launch, it might be just credit card, because the crypto feature will need to be added later and developed. But eventually, our goal is to use burn the EZC system, where it burns DPR in order to purchase EZC credits to use the app. So that is still in the plans. All right, moving on from the app, we're going to India tunnels. Now, why specifically India? Well, as some of you know, India is pretty much going to becoming the largest populated country in the world, right? And they have, in India, there's a lot of expats all over the world, right? In the UK, in the United States, everywhere. And a lot of them love their shows in India, but they don't have access to it living where they live around the world. So we have a huge community of Indian expats who constantly want to buy the device because they want to access information in India. So right now we don't have enough Indian nodes to support all of them. And so it's been a challenge, and we've tried some techniques. It hasn't really worked. And so we finally found something that will work, and it's being developed. It's called NAT Traverse. It's the NAT Traverse stands for Network Address Translation Traversal. Okay. And it's a technique that's going to be implemented in the next upgrade, or the firmware update 1.2.3, and it'll allow us to penetrate native services while giving the users outside of India the ability to use the services better. So it's going to be a huge improvement for Indian users. Any of you here that are here to kind of ask about that. So expect some huge improvements. I know we said that about 1.22, but that was before we had started to research and implement network address translation traversal. Okay, the NAT Traverse. Before we thought that solution could possibly improve it, and we implemented it. It didn't improve it as much as we wanted it to. So now in 1.23, I think you guys will see a huge improvement. For those of you that don't care about Indian tunnels because you don't really watch anything, not into Bollywood and all that, it's still beneficial to the network because it'll help the industry grow, or the network grow a lot. Indian is a huge market. We've seen an increase in sales to India and Pakistan. And so that's how this network grows. That's what Web3 is all about. When the network grows bigger, when more devices are sold, the network becomes more efficient. It becomes actually more scalable. It's the total opposite from a centralized system. The more devices that are out there working and connected, the better the system becomes. So for instance, like right now we have over 120,000 devices sold. Okay. And we're shooting obviously for millions of devices. And once all that is working, it's going to improve the speeds. We've recently also increased the speeds, the minimum sharing speeds of each device. So we should have seen some improvements in connections for streamers and people using the network. Okay. All right. Couple more categories here on the deeper chain. So the deeper chain governance, we have deeper chain governance pretty much set up. The ultimate goal of the deeper network is for the deeper chain governance, which is governed by anybody in the community, okay, that has the ability to join the governance, depending on how much DPR that they hold, right? Ultimately, it's going to become decentralized in the sense that they're the ones, the governance is the ones, the community are the ones that are going to be managing and deciding what this network does. But this currently, we're not quite there. That takes time. So in the beginning, you will still have our team, the Deeper Network team, our developers developing all the aspects and building out the network. But eventually, it's to the benefit of the network to have the governance right, govern the entire network. So recently we've seen, we've actually launched proposals like the platform, which allows the community to draw up proposals for whatever they think should be implemented. And that has been tested. So about 2 months ago, maybe not even 2 months, a recent referendum was proposed by the community to lower the burn credit from 50 DPR to 30 DPR. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, you can burn DPR to earn credit, okay, currently. And some people have been doing that for lost credit for whatever reason to reach the next tier. And so before it was 50 DPR, and because of the price of DPR, people thought that was too much, so they wanted to lower it. And that proposal was put out, and it was the referendum was voted on and passed successfully. And so now it's 30 DPR. And that wasn't decided by us, the central team, right? That was decided by the community. So it was really, really cool to see that. And I hope more referendums are put out there and implemented so that we can see the community more involved that way. So that was great to see the governance actually in action working. Also, I'll talk briefly on this. I don't have too much info on this, but we've had a new project built on Deeper Chain as well. And it's a team of developers that we met at a Polkadot hackathon. And they are building a project with our help, okay, to allow users to mine their token and their native token as a part of their consensus mechanism. I don't have too much info on what their project's all about, but I'm just happy somebody is actually starting to build. And we have some projects, I think this is the third one, on the Deeper Chain. You know, we're competing with a lot of other layer ones, you know, the big guys like the Ethereums and Polygon and Solana and, you know, BNB. So we're one of the small guys, but it's happening. And people, once they realize that we have the infrastructure to support what they're trying to do, it will be more beneficial because we're going to be even more decentralized than a lot of the big guys out there. Okay. So this project we've been working, a team of our developers have been working with them in order to integrate it and make that a success. So that's really happy about that. Going on to the retail market, we've been steadily increasing sales month by month. We're seeing an improvement. I think with the our advertising and our advertising and also like word of mouth through Google Ads, Facebook, we're seeing major increases especially in some areas such as we've been targeting certain areas. We continue to track our big data on where we should target the regions and the countries. So there's been a huge increase in a demand for our device in the Middle East, especially in countries like Israel, UAE, Turkey, and then also, and those are like heavily censored countries, and then also in Europe, Eastern Europe, and South America, and India, and Pakistan. So these are some countries that we have seen increase by hundreds of % in sales, and so that's been really good to see. We've also opened new commercial channels with new retail partners selling our devices online, and also more resellers are approaching us that want to sell our devices into countries that very difficult to penetrate. Okay, countries such as Russia, Iran, and nobody from North Korea yet, but these are heavily sanctioned countries that we are not allowed to send into, but we are being approached by resellers who want to make money, that want to help their people with our devices. to allow them to have uncensored information, news, and whatever, and access to platforms from within their country. And they can't use VPNs because it doesn't work. And so with our devices, they'll be able to do that. And these resellers have their channels by basically bringing in the product, themselves and selling it there. So as middlemen, they can make money too. So we've been seeing a lot of that. So B2B sales has increased because of that as well. Another product we've launched recently, I forgot to mention, was Deeper Care. Deeper Care is an extended warranty program that we've developed, and it's soon to be launched, probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks at the latest. And it basically extends the warranty another year in addition to the 1-year warranty that's already there now. There's going to be special bonuses and deals where Deeper Care is going to be free as a part of some of the packages that you buy. But look for that. Unfortunately, it's only you can only purchase it with a new device. You cannot use it and basically make it retroactive. You can't buy Deeper Care now and apply it to a device that you've owned for 6 months or a year or already. Okay, so that's another product. And I hear a lot of people in the community talking about the only thing Deeper cares about is sales because they want money. First of all, it is important, yes, and we do want money for what? Not for our pockets. We want money for development. And since we're not in the business of selling our own tokens at the cost of the users, we have to make money somehow, right? We have investments from VCs as well as, and from sales. This is our other source of income. And so we do care about sales for multiple reasons, for the money and also for the growth of the network, right? With each device that's sold is an extra node on the network. So, it's not like we're making millions of dollars. The management is making millions of dollars and living a lavish life. We're not like that at all. We're really a startup, and so we don't benefit from the huge sales on this. The team does, the project does. And when the project benefits, you guys do, right? So DPR prices is down right now, but that will take time and they will increase again, right? That's not financial advice, but I'm just saying, you look at the patterns and I think we've hit bottom already. And now we're, it's going to go, it's on its way into more positive territory. So, anyways, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Just to finish the retail market, we've also added language support on our website for Korean, Japanese, Spanish, and Hindi, okay, for those users in that community. All right. Starting to lose my voice here. All right, let's continue to power through. Just a couple more. DPR use case. I hear a lot of noise regarding DPR use case as well, right? Like the token has no use cases, there's no utility. And it might be true right now, yes, but it's in development. It's not like we have zero use for it right now, right? It is being used. There are some, right? You can burn DPR to earn credit. You can use it to become a validator, right? You can use it to become part of the governance, so you can vote, right? People are mining it. No, that's not a use case. No, of course not. But you're mining it low so that later in life you can sell it high. That's kind of the long game, right? So the future use cases of DPR is the app. It will probably be the first one that we'll see. With the launch of the app and the development with the crypto aspect of the EZC system, we'll start to see a deflationary aspect of burning DPR to earn EZC, not to earn, but to get EZC so you can use the app in the network. Okay, so that is in development, and that's going to be one of the use cases. And that's real, because people who want to use the app to block ads, to use DPN, are going to need to burn DPR. Okay. And the development of that is not, they have to go through and buy DPR and use wallets. The development of that is to swipe the credit card, and all that stuff happens automatically in the background. Purchase DPR from the secondary market in hopes of driving up price, and then burning it in hopes of creating less circulating supply of DPR, right? Deflationary, and then creating EZC credits so that it can be used for the service, right? And then they'll have to top that up on a monthly basis, right? So that is going to be the first use case. So yes, it's not in action now, but don't say we have no plans for DPR, okay? NPOW, I think the sky's the limit for NPOW. It is going to be as powerful as the network grows, right? It's just going to become more and more powerful as the network continues to grow. So for those of you that don't know what NPOW is, go to our blog, search NPOW. There's a great article on that telling you about what it is, okay? So NPOW is going to be different, a future generation of type of mining, okay? That's going to allow you to basically own your IP, right? To do things and to make money from that, to earn and to mine from it. So one of the things that is currently being used on NPOW is the Oracle. Okay, we're using the Oracle to gather data for price feeds and whatever through IPs. So people are getting paid for that through DEP. The testers are getting paid for that. And so that is happening daily. In the future, customers will be able to go to a platform, our platform, and be able to order tasks for the community to do. So for instance, if you're a content creator, you might need views on your video, right? And there's a gray space. There are services now that do that, right? But a lot of them are through bots and fake IPs and stuff, like purchase IPs, and they can't get the kind of views that they're looking for. But through us, as long as you create a new email address, you can use it, dedicated it to NPOW, and be able to earn. Okay, so for instance, like if I'm a content creator, I put in there, I need 100,000 views, right? And for those 100,000 views, I have to pay a certain amount of money. Let's just give a round number. Maybe it's, $500 or whatever, right? Well, maybe not that much, but anyways, whatever it cost me to put it in there, right? To order this thing for the devices on the network to do the task, you guys will get paid from that amount of money directly, right? There's nobody in the middle taking any cuts of that. And so there's going to be lots and lots of tasks available in the future. People who build on the deeper chain can utilize this kind of power, right? And this is what I was talking about with building on the deeper chain and utilizing NPOW being limitless, because when dApps start seeing the power of the network, okay, that exists now, they want to utilize that. They want to utilize the IPs, all this real IPs, right? Of course, you guys are protected there. None of the IPs are in danger for doing this because you're doing legal things, but by doing this, the NPOW is gonna be tremendous in terms of how it's used, and dApps, the countless dApps that can build on it, the dApps can do whatever they want it to do, however the developer wants to build it for. So they can be very creative, and they could do things that we might not even think of. So that's for NPOW. Moving on to the governance and validator, I talked a little bit about already. it's already in action. As a part of the governance, you have to stake DPR to be on the council. And so we have community members on there already. And in order to be a validator, you have to stake DPR as well. And so that is happening as well. Okay. And then on-chain development of dApps. We spoke about that. And dApps are going to be the key to the growth of MPOW and everything else. Okay. All right. Moving forward to price, and then we'll open it up to the floor to questions. Feel free to raise your hand. I see somebody already requested to want to speak, so I will approve that a little bit later. And then for the DPR price, I'm sure you guys have been following the crypto market. It's been on an upswing. Okay. Some say it's the beginning of the bull market. Others say it's not yet. We have to wait a little bit longer. But regardless, we've been seeing an uptick in terms of growth in price. Okay. So, you know, this stuff is all cyclical, and DPR is not, you know, we're in the same boat as a lot of the alts out there, right? We might have dropped in rank a little bit more compared to some of the other alts. And the reason for that is because we have inflation. It's a mining project, right? So when you have inflation, when people are mining and selling on the market, it's gonna drive the price down. And I think that's the reason why the price keeps going down, right? But remember, Genesis has ended, right? So it's cut inflation by tons, right? And so the amount of DPR tokens generated and minted now from mining has decreased, right? And so that alone has slowed down the drop in the price a lot. And that's going to continue to slow down as more people sell and not sell, but like they have less DPR to sell, right? So that's going to be slowed down. And with the increase in market, with the increase in all the development that we've just talked about, and more exposure, there's only better things on the horizon. Okay. So have some hope, mine low, sell high down the road. And I don't typically talk too much about price, but I do see good things for it down the road. Okay. It's not going to happen right now. We're not going to be like a Solana going 20% up a day, but steadily with real use cases and development, it will be better. All right. So I'm going to open the floor up to some questions. I see Orson Vanderbile. I'd like to invite up. I'll approve your request. All right. Are you there, Orson? Did he disappear? Does anybody have any questions? If not, it's totally fine because I've covered a lot. This AMA has been recorded as well, this update, so people can listen to that. I apologize for not having collected these questions, like any questions from the community earlier, but I tried to address anything that I've kind of come across over the last few months in a general sense. But if anybody has any specific questions, feel free to raise your hand and discuss. Okay, I see some requests now. Q Alpha X. Okay. Hey, Q Alpha, can you unmute yourself? Do you have a question?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
Where you from?
I'm over in the U.S.
Okay.
I've been part of the node mining probably since this summer. I got my unit not too long ago, and frankly, I love it. I love the project. It's a great project, and glad to be a part of the community.
Fantastic.
I do have some relatively serious questions that I hope you can stick with me on.
Okay.
And I also have some potential recommendations, a little bit on the further side. But just to actually start, if I remember correctly, on your platform on X, I hate calling it that. Pretty sure everybody else does too.
I know. Let's just call it Twitter for
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I noticed. Are you still the CEO of the exchange that's part of your profile? I noticed that was on your Twitter profile, and you say you're the CEO of a exchange, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I was wondering, why is DPR not listed on your exchange for any particular reason? Is it regulation, or is there something preventing it? Is there a reason for that?
Well, I don't own the
Oh yeah, I
exchange.
know. Yeah.
I am, yeah. So number one, that's a big part of it. I personally don't see a huge benefit in listing DPR on there. The type of users that they have and what they tend to trade, it's not going to be hugely beneficial. Now, as the CEO, I also don't want to approach the chair, the board, and try to ask for a free listing,
Of course.
because as you list, you have to expend resources to do market making and also upkeep and doing all sorts of stuff related that in the background that people might not know. And so it wasn't a huge benefit. And so Deeper doesn't really, we don't have money that we spend, to list tokens. A lot of projects do. They use investor money and spend, hundreds of $1,000s to list on different
Oh
exchanges.
yeah, I definitely understand.
Yeah. And so listing is not the top priority. We already have DPR listed on some of the top exchanges so that it's available for people who want to trade it. On KuCoin, is probably the main one. And there are some other ones like Gates and different ones. But, it just wasn't, it's not a huge priority for either. And Tidex is not, dying to have giving a free listing to a project that they have to keep an eye on to make sure. Yeah. So that's part of that. That's the main reason why.
Okay. I mean, I was honestly just curious on that one.
Yeah.
So
No
that's
problem.
perfectly fair. So I actually, this question, I actually had a bit of a discussion with Deeper Knot about it. And I was curious, do you guys potentially have a backup plan in case stable coins ever get more regulated? This was a very big concern because obviously this project and its burn of the easy coin are directly related to increases in not only the utility but the value of DPR. I understand, there's a lot of regulation around things with like the SEC and other governments with certain how we test aspects, and the stablecoin is the roundabout method. But I just was wondering, do you guys potentially have a backup plan in case that does happen? It gets more regulated.
We're keeping an eye on it. But right now, we don't have like any concrete backup plans. I don't think really anybody. I don't even know if Tether has any backup plans, for God's sakes. So
well, their tether is actually attached to the government at this point. That they're, frankly, to put it, they're in bed with the government.
Right.
They and a lot of the largest, like USDC, that they are all heavily monitored and regulated by the government at this point. So that they're likely never going to go down, but it's just they're going to be regulated by the ways that their government desires. And if I'm just thinking, stable coins might just you'll probably long term be fine with stable coins. You'll just have to follow certain regulations. And considering this is a privacy platform, governments might not be too friendly on that. So it was just a personal worry, and I think some other individuals might can be a little worried long term about it. But it's just something to keep in the back of the mind.
Sure. I think that's a great question. You're thinking very far ahead, potentially, and worst case scenario is we go back to just charging it as a service until something else. We see an opportunity to re-engage on some sort of a crypto aspect, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to ever put DPR in the site. Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, I actually do have a alternative backup plan for that. We might be able to discuss that at a different time personally.
Okay.
But the other question I have here is exactly what is the, if you know off the top of your head, what is the algorithm or the encryption algorithm that the DPR chain runs on? Like what is the encryption that the system runs on? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh man, I don't. That it came across a while ago. Somebody was asking about that, and I remember asking the devs. They did give me a response. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That is like more the technical aspect.
That's very technical. Yeah, I'm not the most technical guy. I'm I could talk about it, but don't really quite understand a lot of it sometimes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was just worried in that aspect. And this is, also one of those future things. Well, actually, I'll continue a little bit on that same point. I was more curious as to who might have the key for that algorithm, because algorithms are typically developed long term, approved by governments, and that they need to make sure that they work, but also to make sure that they can essentially control them. I mean,
Right.
Sadly, the NSA, when you actually understand algorithms, they're all approved by the NSA.
Right.
So I was wondering who might have the keys to those algorithms, not just on the network, but also on the devices, because if this key is not secure enough, this leads into the next question. Do you guys have any future plans to quantum resistance on your algorithms? I know Ethereum is planning it. I know Solana is planning it. All the big coins are planning it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a little curious as to if that has ever popped up as a concern, and is there the potential to add that to this platform? Because obviously it's privacy, so long term you would probably want to consider it.
Right. Obviously, it's if it's important to protecting the user's privacy, it is something on our list to do. I would have to double check with the devs and to answer some of your questions there. But have you read our white paper before? I think some of that information could be in the white paper if you go to our website.
Yeah, I've fiddled around with looking through it. White papers are massive, so I'll double check it.
I think it's a 28-page white paper. I think last time I checked, so it's not as long as some other projects. Yeah.
I'll double check it.
Take a look.
And just leave some questions in the Discord, or maybe wherever I can for next time. But so here are some of the actual things that I have as potential recommendations. We were talking about the app on the device, as well as the app on just mobile. So like you can go around. So one of the things that I've always kind of liked personally on one of the VPN services I used to use was the fact that you could specifically select an app to go through a split tunnel, very much like the smart routing. However, smart routing, from what I'm experiencing, only allows you to select like a IP address or a website to specifically select. And this has come to be incredibly obnoxious to me because I mean, it's a good feature, but it's not broad enough. So one of the things I would like to potentially see is app selection specifically. So say I want to pick something like a mobile game or a something on Steam specifically, but I don't want to completely VPN the all of Steam. I just want the game file to go through the VPN.
Gotcha.
There's the NordVPN has this option, and from my experience, it's very convenient. So if potentially future add-on is to being allowed to select the app specifically or the file, and adding that to your split tunnel options for smart routing. I would absolutely love to see that. It would make things so much more convenient.
Sounds good. I've noted it. I think from hearing you describe it, it's definitely something we're able to do.
Awesome. So on to another potentially useful aspect. I understand over in India as well as in the States, there's a lot of different locations, and especially in America, every state has a different law for cryptocurrency. Like New York might have one law, DC will have one law, Florida, it's ridiculous. So I was kind of wondering if they might be able to add a way of letting you know what state you can connect to based on the IPs that are refreshing. Because right now it's just United States,
Right.
and that's it. In the United States, it's pretty big.
Right.
So if potentially adding a state location for anything in that regard, that absolutely would love that. And that's something you don't see on a lot of other VPN services. And so that could be a very powerful aspect. Especially if you really, I don't really need to go over to India for my IP or anything all the time, especially if it's just frequent traffic. So if I wanted frequent traffic in the US, I would love to be able to just specifically select a state. That'd be awesome.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about this as a team quite a number of times. It is something we are looking into. One of the concerns that popped up was privacy and basically giving away people's locations. And so we've also discussed, instead of states, possibly if we can do it by region, if that could solve a lot of people's problems and what they're trying to achieve. So right now, I think we're probably the first step. If we were to go that route, it would be by region in the United States. East Coast, Midwest, West Coast or something like that, Southwest or something. So that is something on our to-do list, and I don't know where they are on that, but my thinking is that it's on the back burner in terms of it's just on the list of things to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to add into that, not just regions, just something to add potentially is selecting specific states for a connector that are more crypto friendly. So you could just essentially do research. Okay, this state, and this state are all allowed to buy cryptocurrency on either centralized or decentralized exchanges, and I just have to be in one of those states IP wise to essentially use crypto online. That would be a very quick and simple solution to a lot of, I mean, it might be a little bit of homework, but it's an option. But
These are great. Yeah, I think right now we have some higher level issues we're still trying to fix, but these more fine tuning, I think, are great features that we can add down the road.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you need these tomorrow.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm writing all these down, and I will keep it and talk to the developers on it from time to time.
All right.
Yeah.
And so another aspect, you were mentioning the issue with the memory on the hardware. I noticed a lot of the hardware, at least the SE and the Mini, have a USB slot. So
Uh-huh.
I was wondering, why not just offer to individuals that want a more pretty app the ability to add a USB to their device for extra memory, and then just save the app itself on that exclusively.
Mhm.
It just might be an easy way for either extra features or just convenience. And potentially, this is actually something that kind of worried me when we were talking about the life of the device, and how people are worried about overheating.
Yeah.
How exactly can a person change their device's credit and everything over to a new device if it just dies? I mean, that's actually something that's kind of been worrying to me. Is okay, I'm using and mining on this thing for 5 to 10 years
Right.
in the future, and then it dies, and then all my
Um,
credit, all my value, all my DPR, well, maybe not the DPR, that's software,
mhm.
but
Yeah.
it's gone. um,
Well, remember, a lot of that information is actually on the blockchain. So in terms of your credits and also your DPR and stuff, that can be sorted through our customer service, and the developers will be able to take care of that. In terms of like data, like logs, sharing logs and stuff, if the device dies, that stuff might be lost, but with a new device, we would be able to basically bring all that mining info and your wallets and everything back
oh,
on a new device. Yeah, that's not a problem. We've had people go through that process, and it's not.
uh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not
great to know
impossible.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, so all right, that's good to know. And so a question on the app. So um, obviously it's going to be a subscription type system, and I was curious if there would be any perk or bonus for being a node holder or user mining while also utilizing the app. Like, would there be a potential to connect your app to your node while on the go? Because I mean, the whole gimmick of buying the node was you have unlimited VPN service, thereafter. No fees, no anything. So it would be nice. I mean, I understand it's a business, but it would be nice if the possibility of connecting to your node through the app would be a potential use case.
Yeah,
That would just be kind of nice.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, remote access to your own device has been something that we do have people in the community who have hundreds of our devices as well to mine, and so remote access for them would be very convenient. A lot of them have like maybe 10 devices in different
Yeah,
locations as well, right? So instead of
I was
having to
thinking that.
like drive or fly to a certain location to access that device, remote access is something they request. So it's similar to what you're asking.
Yeah,
Um, it is something that is able to be developed, but it's not.
future wise.
Yeah, it's not high priority at the moment. But as more and more people, request that, and as long as it doesn't give up people's privacy or put any of that in at risk, then it's something we would consider.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's also great to know. So I'm pretty much done in the aspect of questions. However, when I went back to the stablecoin alternative, I do actually have some really, really good marketing ideas that essentially could reach billions of viewers in a month. And if you guys are interested in that, we can talk at another time, hopefully. And I have some great options that not only would be able to get around the stablecoin issue, but also potentially reach a larger audience. I think right now, the audience is kind of, the marketing is very minimal. I mean, you guys have done all the absolute cliche crypto marketing, Twitter, Telegram, Discord. I've not seen, expansive marketing personally. I don't know where you guys market to. I mean, you probably have teams that work around it, and it's a global project, so that they have to be selective about where they can spend their money on marketing. I do have some really interesting marketing proposals that I would potentially like to see
Okay.
if we can work on.
I've connected with you on Twitter, so we can talk about that in private. So that would be great. Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out. And I normally, just to give other people a chance to speak. But you had so many great questions.
Oh yeah,
and so
that was it.
yeah, that was awesome. So thank you so much for that.
Yep.
And I've written down everything you said, and it's something that I'll definitely look into, and I'll try to get that information to you regarding the encryption, as well as the other. Let's see, what else did you ask? The protection regarding the quantum computers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen tomorrow, obviously.
No, I know.
I've been keeping up on IBM and a lot of the public access quantum computers, and I've been fiddling around with programming in quantum code. It's not really quantum code, but you get the idea. And IBM already has public access to 1,000-qubit quantum computing, with expectations of hitting around 4,000 within the next year or two. And SHA-256 and all the basic encryption algorithms are going to eventually be at risk.
Right.
So it's just something to think about.
Right. Yeah. I've heard that topic come across a lot, how quantum computer is gonna basically be able to break anything and solve anything in the future. So I think a lot of stuff is at risk here if no regulation or some sort of protection is put down. But anyways, we'll save that for another time.
Yes.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking your questions. I'm going to invite up another speaker. Okay.
All right.
Take care. Have a great day. I'm going to, this next one is a follow Satan. Should I be scared? I've approved. Okay. Can kiss the top. That's his handle. Hey there. Do you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing? Where are you
G'day
from?
Team from Australia. Hope everyone's well. It's 2 a.m. here in the morning.
Awesome. Wow. Trooper deep or not. Shouldn't you be asleep?
I should be asleep, yes, but I'm awake to listen to this, so it's all good. It's all
Awesome.
good. That gentleman prior to me, mate, he should be on the team, I reckon. You should.
Oh my God, that guy's smart.
He's got some questions there that were way over my head, and I appreciate it greatly.
What can I do
I don't
for
have
you?
anything as in-depth as Alpha X prior to me, but I did have a couple of questions. With
Sure.
the Pico coming out, and then there was the Deeper Air, I didn't want to be too invested in something like the Pico and then a better product like the Deeper Air come out for giving out to friends and families and starting to mine on different IP addresses. Is there anything that will overtake the Deeper Air so I can be more confident in going, right, well, this is what my friends will use, so I can offer them a DVPN and I can use their internet space?
Right. I mean, the Mini is probably our most powerful device currently, and we have different families of different classes of devices depending on the use case, right? So the the strength of the Deeper Connect Air, which is still on IGG right now, hopefully we'll deliver those soon, is the portability of it. And there's no, all it is one device, double antenna, a USB-C connection, and you can bring it anywhere you go. And you don't have to worry about cables and, losing this and losing that. There's no connection. It's just, you plug it right in and it works.
Yeah,
That is the strength of it.
It is.
Yeah.
And I feel for, my friends are going to use it for YouTube, Spotify, all the monthly bills that they pay to make it cheaper for them, albeit they'll only use it once, but I want to be able to sweeten the deal and say, use it for whatever you like. But that setup is quite good. Go into the house, plug it into any particular wall, hook it up to the internet, and away they go. So it's pretty good for that basic sort of function.
So on that topic, because it is more for the people on the go, if you're mining, you don't want a device that's like a node that's like online and then offline, right? You want a stable node. So the Deeper Connect Air, unless you're just gonna leave it at home and plug it into the wall and be able to do it, to mine it that way, then it could work. But if you're gonna be on the go and using it when you travel, I don't suggest the Air for a miner.
Yeah.
I would probably suggest one of the other devices like the Mini or the DPR Mini SE.
Yeah, no, this will be plugged in. So that was the idea. All right, wonderful. Yeah. And on a smaller question, and you did note in regards to the interface is limited due to the fact that it's only on the device. When friends log into it, is it possible just to have the tunnel option or the app options tab on the left a different color, just so they know that they can reference, oh, that's the one I've got to press, instead of calling up me each time and just go, that's the one I've got to press, and then they can just follow their nose as they go.
You mean like each tab on the left have a different color?
No, just the one for the app for the tunnels. When you put in Spotify, put in YouTube, just that particular. If it's multiple colors, they'll get lost. If that's just that one, I think everyone here knows how to steer themselves around the whole device. But for old mate who's got it and only logs on every 4 or 5 months, they know just to press that color, and then they can change their Spotify location or whatever they like.
I see. I think that one's probably a little tricky because it sounds like it's pretty. The user can't change it. We can change it, but then we can change it. If we change it, it changes for everyone, kind of thing, right? Because it's a firmware. So we are looking at a better user interface, a cleaner one, different colors, better font currently. But in terms of what you just asked, probably not possible for now. I think it's just he has to get familiar with the device and the features. And remember, like, firmware changes too. So the positioning, added features, new buttons, those things happen with each upgrade. So, even if it was colors, it might change, right, with each one. So, yeah, I would suggest that he get familiar with the apps, not with the apps, with Atom OS and what each thing does. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last question, if I may. With Earthlink coming up, my general idea of how it works is I can set up an antenna at my house, punch out my possibly an extended Wi-Fi antenna, and then people can turn around and use my Wi-Fi, my internet, and they can pay for it via a particular app. Is that a general idea of how Earthlink's going to work instead of them?
Yep, that was the general idea. Just basically you become an owner of your internet that you're paying for, and you can lease it out essentially to others.
Because we in Australia, we are massive fans of festivals because the sun's out, guns out, beers out, let's go. And we have a very limited mobile network coverage because we usually do it in the country. And I was thinking, I could get a Starlink set up next to the festival, and on the weekends there's 10,000 people who are possibly inebriated, so forth, and always on their phones. And I thought there's a great way to make weekend money.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
For sure. That's the idea. It's all about coverage and empowering users to not only uncensored information but also just access.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, on
Yep.
on festivals, like the mobile network just gets out of control, and no one can contact
Oh yeah.
anyone.
Gets so
It
congested.
does. It does.
Yep.
Can you? Is it
Yep.
possible? Like, if I were to do that, can you limit what goes through? Let's say my Starlink, saying, yeah, I want WhatsApp, I want Facebook Messenger, I want SMS maybe, but I don't want people to jump on there and just sit on Netflix and so forth to take up the bandwidth just for those 3-day, 4-day events.
I don't know. I mean, it's not developed far enough for me to answer that, but it could. Yeah, I think as it gets developed, the needs of the user and those kind of issues will be resolved.
All right. Well, just
Yeah.
special mention, Deepernaut. I love your videos, mate. They're absolutely fantastic. Each week I listen to them and watch them, so keep it up. And
Oh man, John's awesome.
He's a 10,
agree.
isn't he? He's an absolute 10.
He's a 10. Yeah.
All right, team.
More than a 10.
Thank you very much for your time, Eric.
Cool.
Great to speak to you, and keep up the great work.
You too. Yeah, you too. And thank you. Good night. And appreciate all your questions. And I'll see you in the community.
Roger. Cheers.
Okay. Take care. All right. Got a couple more. Got Sasha. I'm going to approve Sasha. So that guy, Follow Satan, the guy that just from Australia, so nice. I don't know why he's following Satan. All right. And I'm also going to approve Zolt, but I'm going to let Sasha speak first. Okay. Hey, Sasha. Can you unmute your mic?
Hello, Eric. Is it fine?
Hey, yes, I can hear you. How are you? Where are you from, Sasha?
I am from Russia. I have a short question. Can you tell me some future plans about new, deeper...
Oh, Sasha, plans about what? You cut out.
device, please? Or, I mean, any plans about new devices like Meteo Station?
Like what kind of station? Media station?
Meteo Station and Geometeo Station, like that.
Oh man, you're really breaking up. I'm having a hard time.
Okay, anyways, maybe some plans about Visa and MasterCard, maybe type of
Visa?
deeper.
Visa
deeper.
and MasterCard deeper?
Yes, I mean a deeper card with the Visa or MasterCard with the deeper connection, like Lyrex, maybe you know.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, are you asking if we have plans to have a deeper MasterCard or Visa card
Deeper
for
cards,
use?
yes, maybe for crypto.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be.
Probably not at the moment. We're focused more on building the infrastructure. Those kind of retail partnerships, I think, is not high priority because we're a different type of project. As a DeepIn project, we're really focused on building out the infrastructure so other people can use it and also build on it. These retail, we don't really see a huge advantage to having something like that. So for now, probably not. And I know you had a question at first. Some new devices that are coming out in the future. Absolutely. Right now, we're mostly focused on the Deeper Connect Air, and also we've updated the new Pico and some new accessories that came out. But in the future, like the Earthlink and Deeper Connect Pro with the hard drive, these are all things that are going to be adding value to the ecosystem, and those things will continue. They're further down the road, but we're definitely going to continue to build out new products and services. Yeah.
Okay, I understand you. Thank you very much. I don't. Yeah, I have a bad connection, so maybe another one ask someone.
No problem.
Sorry,
You're a little
sorry.
bit better now, but appreciate your question, Sasha. Have a good day.
Have a good day, you too. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Hey, Zolt, how are you, old friend?
Oh, my friend, if you would be kind to tell us a little bit how the DEP project has been concluded, or what's the status of it, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. So DEP is our decentralized edge computing platform that is basically testing out the NPOW right now. We've done more than 10 different versions of it, trying to continue to improve it. It's been working out great. This was a program mostly offered to testers and open to people who wanted to test it. And in return for their testing, they earn DPR as through NPOW, essentially. We had closed the program in terms of accepting new DEP testers. We don't currently need any more at the moment, but I did send you a message, Zolt, on that, so you could check that message out. So you can maybe that's part of your question. But for now, DEP testing is no longer open. If it opens up again, we will make an announcement for it. But for now, NPOW, everything's working out great, and we're really excited to have like new programs, or I'm sorry, new projects building on our layer 1. So yeah.
Much appreciated. Thank you for all the work you're doing for us, Eric. I appreciate it. Thank you. And
thank you so much, Zolt.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, we have Q Alpha again. He's got other hard questions for me. Hey there, Q Alpha. You got another question?
Oh yeah, I mean, some of the other people brought up some interesting things, and I just wanted to see if I could get a little bit of clarification on what the Australian gentleman was talking about. So you guys were mentioning something, I believe, called Earthlink.
Yeah, this was it was a product that is in the roadmap. Basically, it's basically allows you to share your Wi-Fi, to use your Wi-Fi and share it with other people, and for them to use it, they would have to pay you through a subscription service.
That is, I wrote something very similar to that down because yes, I was hoping something like that would come out. Because yes, I would love to be able to push this into some commercial aspects. But yeah, if that's a future aspect, would that be something directly built into the nodes, or is that something that is just like a side platform that connects to your Wi-Fi, and then you just go through that service?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a separate device that's going to have. Yeah, it's going to work a little bit differently, and it might not have all the features that the current products have, and it's probably going to be more focused on that particular tool or that. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, that answers that. And just to clarify, as to worship Satan, it's probably more just Satanism is a really amusing aspect of like it's not really about Satan.
Yeah, I figured it sounded too nice.
Like 0% about Satan. It's more like freedom of body of choice. Like because religions and government things are, a bit pushy on certain aspects, and it's more freedom of choice, I guess you could say. It's
okay. So it's sort of a movement,
seance or anything. It's at least my understanding of that is correct. But to continue on to Sasha's thing, I think what they were referring to was a privacy payment card. They basically, obviously in Russia right now, can't really pay for services with MasterCard and Visa.
Right.
In that regard, this is actually an interesting project, depending on how the DPR chain works. I was a little curious, what privacy is there with sending and receiving the coin? Is there any privacy in that regard, or is it like Bitcoin? You can just look up, who has it and who owns it.
Yeah, it's public. You through the deeper scan, you could see it. There's no. Yeah, we've talked about it before in the past. Possibly partnering up with. We had a something signed with I can't remember the project's name. This was probably like 3 years ago, but we could add privacy features, later. And again, this could be a dApp that can be built on Deeper Chain.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. I could potentially build a smart contract involving the zero knowledge proof.
That's what it is. Yep.
Yeah, and then you just add that, and not only is the platform encrypted, but you can add that privacy aspect directly into it with a dApp. So that'd be a great thing to potentially add. But yeah, I just felt like I should help Sasha clarify probably what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was having issues hearing through his connection, but yeah, we would much prefer to have something. Some sort of a platform like a privacy feature using zero knowledge roll-ups or something like that to on our own chain rather than on another chain. Yeah,
because that is one of the biggest concerns personally as well. Is, say I do have one of these nodes over in heaven forbids, North Korea. And they can easily track where the DPR is going. So if you send it to the node, a lot of these places that are regulated, I guarantee you they didn't really think that part through. So that is something I would potentially recommend mentioning to any potential buyers globally within these states, that if you are going to be a mining node, then be careful with how you're setting up the mining service, because that will be trackable. So that is one of the potential downsides with that. But if they can find a way around that, then more power to them.
Well, I think there's maybe a little bit of confusion, but because DPR is on the Deeper Chain, there's no IP or kind of location kind of IDs related
creation. To that. Like the wallet creation. So when you create the wallet, and then you attach that directly to your node. So that node, that wallet, that IP is all essentially tracked through not only where it's going on the chain, but then if your IP address is connected to the email that they see somebody created this account, then it's just something that government can monitor.
Right.
Maybe I'm a little off on that, but just something I would worry about.
Remember, the device is also a enterprise class cybersecurity device, so it's not going to be that easily cracked like it's just like open on the like a blockchain.
No, not crackable. That's not the issue I would see, is them knowing that you have bias. That's what I would be worried about. Is,
I see what you mean.
You're in Korea, and your traffic is going through this service, or you have something that just seems suspicious. It's gonna seem suspicious. So that is just something you at a higher level you have to think about if you're doing things that are censored in countries. But yeah, just my thought.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you have some great ideas. Let me write that one down. All right. Well,
that's it for me.
Yeah, appreciate it. I think let's see. Okay, I see people chatting on here. Excellent. Just mostly comments. This AMA has been an hour and a half, and so it is being recorded, but I hate to have people kind of want to listen for so long, so I'm pretty much going to end it. It's pretty late where I am currently, so I'm going to be calling it a night as well. We really appreciate everyone that attended and appreciate anybody who has been listening. All the deeper knots out there that have been supporting some of the KOLs and the key influencers and the leaders in this community have been awesome. Can't appreciate you guys and thank you guys enough for all the support. Continue to share your knowledge and what you know about Deeper Network to help others protect themselves, as well as give them freedom of from censorship and that sort of thing. So continue to do that to help grow the network. And our customer service is always reachable, and whatever messages that you want to say, whether you have recommendations or you have issues, you can always contact us at going to start a ticket at support.deeper.network. We also have a YouTube channel that we're constantly releasing new videos. So go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, hit that bell so that when a new video comes out for a feature or how to use tutorials, it's all on there. So please subscribe to that and follow us on Twitter. That's about it for today. I hope to hold another AMA when the time comes. And before then, everyone take care, stay safe out there, and have a great day or evening wherever you are.